On this week's episode of Bayou Wild TV, Captain Mike Frenette is a Venice fishing legend.
I accidentally came across the offshore fishing that we had out here, especially with the big tuna, marlin, you name it. One species that always was my favorite was redfish. Redfish? You're crazy. And I'm like, nah, there's something about these redfish that just grabs me.
Oh, he is ripping line.
Little picture of him right next to the definition of competitive, you know? I mean, as competitive as it can get.
But his success is not without the help of Lori, Michael, and Stephen Fernett of the Redfish Lodge. Every day they stick to the motto of, a family who fishes together stays together.
But, you know, now we went from not being together so much for 20 years to being together continuously for the last 15. So it's been an interesting up and down.
Getting into the hype, getting into the sexy part of being a charter fisherman is easy. Appreciating the work that goes into it is a whole different game.
Every day, we strive to preserve traditions that have spanned generations.
Around every turn of the bayou, Mother Nature reveals unique people, places, and experiences.
And the bounty of animals and fish. Well, in Louisiana, we just call that lagniappe. I'm Don Dubuque.
I'm Chris LeCoq.
I'm Captain Martha Spencer. Join us as we document the adventure,
Sportsmanship,
And heritage that make us Bayou Wild.
Fishermen along the Gulf Coast often call Venice, Louisiana the end of the earth, and it feels like it. There's a Dollar General, a few gas stations, and 2 marinas. The Venice fishery is unique because of the sediment-rich nutrients pumped into the Gulf from the Mississippi River. And while it's often referred to as Tuna Town, the inshore fishery is a powerful one on its own.
We're here at the Redfish Lodge down in Venice, Louisiana, where Captain Mike Frenette is the owner and operator here. And he is truly a Louisiana legend. We're really looking forward to a fishing trip with him. Guy is one of the pioneers of charter fishing in the state of Louisiana. He's been there, done it all, and been around for a long, long time.
When I first got into the business, one of my most important things that I wanted to achieve was, and I saw what I thought would be the need for a professional charter service, especially in Louisiana. We really didn't have much back then. I accidentally came across the offshore fishing that we had out here, and I built a custom-built boat. At the time, it was, you know, for the Northeast Gulf of Mexico, it was the Bayou. It was the Cadillac, and the boat's name was the Teaser. And all through the Gulf, a lot of people recognize the name. And I worked hard at it, very hard at it. But it wasn't a very good money-making revenue, sort of say. I did what I loved, but at the end of the year, I was still struggling, and I worked hard. You know, I kind of migrated from the offshore fishing to the inshore fishing, if you want to say it, back in right before Katrina, I guess.
Coming up, catching big bull reds with a Louisiana legend.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
Delta Marina is Plaquemines Parish fishing one-stop. Get live bait, fuel, ice, tackle, and marine supplies. Then launch into the world's most productive saltwater fishing. Return to the fishing cleaning station, relax in first-class cabins overlooking the bayou, all in Delta Marina's safety video-monitored parking lot. Need a fishing charter guide? Delta Marina can hook you up. Cook your catch in your kitchenette or dine in the upstairs restaurant. Visit Delta Marina for a day or a week. Stop in just off Highway 11 down Rosemarie Drive in Empire. Visit thedeltamarina.com.
Don't be that guy, unregistered, who catches a tagged bass and misses out on cash, a boat, or a truck. Don't be that guy. Sign up today at basscashbash.com.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
When it comes to fishing in Venice, Captain Mike Frenette has done it all. Here at the Redfish Lodge, Captain Mike and his family have shared a passion for Louisiana fishing with anglers across the globe for decades.
It's been interesting. So at the beginning, I didn't run the lodge. We had someone else that was here. I would come on weekends and cook big pots of things, and she would be here during the week so that when our kids were younger, I was able to stay home in New Orleans with them, and they went to school there.
When we first got married, and back in the teaser days, Lori didn't want anything to do with the business. I tried to get her to take some of the pressure off of me and tried to get her to book the trips and talk to the clients. There was no emails then. It was strictly phone, and my phone would ring at 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night. She would not answer the phone. She would not talk to clients. And it wasn't because she didn't want to. At that point, I don't think her confidence or self-esteem allowed her to do that.
Mike was always down here, coming back and forth, going to town to do coach football or baseball or what have you, and driving back down here at 10 o'clock at night.
As a child, growing up in the household of a charter captain didn't seem anything odd to that at all. It was life to us. We didn't realize the sacrifice that our parents, had into, running a lodge so far away from where we had to go to school and play sports. I've been a licensed captain going on 10 years this year, and have obviously grown up with, one of the, veteran fishermen and veteran charter fishermen, at least in this area, my entire life.
I wasn't drug in. I mean, being a Fernett, you're kind of drug in by birth, but no.
You can be our doctor.
Yeah. Hey, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a doctor for whatever reason. Then I figured out that all the work goes into that, and I wanted nothing to do with that. That might have charter fishing beat, but...
As a mother and father, when they graduated high school, even Michael knowing that he wanted to do this, we made them both go to college and get a degree because, the oil spill happened right after that. Katrina had already happened 5 years before that. You don't know, what this industry brings tomorrow.
I can remember as a boy riding in the car with Dad back and forth, either from Venice to baseball or football to Venice or whatever it was, and listening to people call on his truck bag phone. He was selling his reputation, and he was building a reputation that would eventually be passed on to us, that as long as we weren't knuckleheads and ruined it, we just had to keep the ball rolling.
Now, we went from not being together so much for 20 years to being together continuously for the last 15. So it's been an interesting up and down. Usually in the morning, I go in, I start breakfast, I put all the lunch stuff out. Then get them, make sure they've gotten their licenses and all that, and send them on their way. Get the breakfast dishes done. If I have people leaving, I pull beds and get the sheets washed and get that stuff going. And then I mentally prep what I'm gonna do for dinner if there's something I need to start. And then I go in my room and check emails and phone calls and invoices and stuff like that.
Neither one of us could work half as hard as Mom if we tried.
Nope.
And a lot of times we try.
I just see new people come down the stairs every day, and she's just up there spinning them all in and spitting them all out.
She wears more hats and more gloves than the average person that you don't get to see behind the scene. But she's not organized. She knows she's not organized. She knows she's not organized.
They think I go back to bed and come on, and I'm just magically ready for dinner at 6. But every now and then, I'll catch a Hallmark movie or something, but it's rare.
Oh, what? She's our glue. She is without her, we're nothing. All we do is get on a boat and go fishing every day. And the only thing we got to do is make sure we get back before 6 so she's not mad, It's awesome.
The summer months are much worse because it doesn't get dark until 9. So to get them in at 6 is like, you know, and he'll, you know, just keep at it, keep at it, keep at it.
Coming up next.
Look at him.
That's time. He's on.
Oh, he is ripping line.
He's running.
I mean, I've been over double here.
That rod might not straighten out.
At Parish Coffee, we wanted to create a coffee brand that people would love to drink every day. Our medium roasts are nice, bright, nutty coffees. Our dark roast coffees are smooth and rich. I think it's important for consumers to recognize that sometimes it's your neighbor that you're supporting. People can go to parishcoffee.com to find the entire selection of coffees.
My name's James Loop, and I won the 2020 Chevy 1500. It was first day at roughly 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. I was like, let's stay fishing, and she's like, maybe we need to get back to the launch, you know? Yeah, I had a blast. It was a great summer tournament. Thank you, Super Chevy dealers, for my 2020 Silverado.
Continuing this week's adventure, we're down the river in Venice, Louisiana with Captain Mike Frenette. A man who knows a thing or two about redfishing.
One species that always was my favorite was redfish. Back then, they were just like, nobody even looked at a redfish. It was like, you know, what is that? You're like, redfish? You're crazy. And I'm like, nah, I mean, there's something about these redfish that just grabs me.
Dad was ahead of his time. He knew how to bottle the excitement that us as locals got when we may have caught our first redfish or our first tuna.
So look at the size of this dog, would you? Whew, man, that is one big fish.
And he had the ability to literally capture those feelings and have someone from out of state or out of country take that bottle, open it up, and experience it for themselves.
It can be caught just like a bass fisherman from any other state, except he puts a bass to shame. In topwater, crankbait, spinnerbait, jig heads, didn't matter. And so I kind of migrated my business into that, which I'm so thankful for. Look at him, oh, he is ripping line. Don, he hit it right here next to the boat. He just nailed me.
You think that redfish has taken over as the king of Louisiana inshore saltwater? Speckled trout's been the king for years and years, but it seems to be heading that way if it's not here already.
I'd have to agree with you. If you would see the boats that are out chasing the big bulls now, it's crazy. And not because of me, it's because of the popularity of the fish.
All right, we've been out here struggling, trying to wait for these fish to turn on. Mike knew they were in this area, had been catching them the last few days. And finally we got one. Looks like it followed his bait right up to the boat, hit it there, but then he went for parts unknown, and we'll find out what happened a little bit later.
He's in a different...
I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go get a drink, Mike. All right. All right. Woo-hoo.
He's driven to get it done. His love for this industry and his commitment to it, he's been very committed. And, you know, it's important to him to educate people of this industry and, you know, so that it's here, you know, years from now. And, you know, my boys are the same way. They, you know, they want to educate people, and, you know, they want this industry to be here for their future.
These fish fight, and they're tired. And the good thing about the big redfish is they're so resilient that they survive. But I like to just hold them by the tail, drop them over the side of the boat, let them get, kind of resuscitate themselves, get a little strength back, and then they just swim out of your hands.
Mike will always be the last one in, and it'll make me crazy sometimes. I used to love to fish. We fished tournaments and, did all kinds of fishing. But now to me it's just work. So I like going out on the boat. I like, going out with him and seeing everything that's out there. It's just, it's always something different, although it's the same. You never know what you're gonna see as far as wildlife, and it's just so beautiful out there. I just enjoy going out there. I'll catch a fish every now and then and go, oh yeah, like one of those 40-pound redfish. It's like, that's work. I'm good just watching.
I mean, you can leave him out the water for a fair amount of time and you just give him time to relax like this, and he's gonna come back with it. Look, there he goes. That's it. He did his job. We had a blast. Now let's go get another one. I love what I do. I see myself in a more diminished role.
You taught me that it takes a lifetime to build a reputation. It takes 5 minutes to ruin it. And
it takes half a second to ruin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
they probably didn't answer the question correctly, because I think I'm pretty hard on them at times. I know that I am, but I'm hard on them for a reason.
no matter how great of a fisherman you are, only a certain amount of people care about that. But realizing how much you care about what you're doing, there's no secret. There's more and more guides every day, and it's hard to distinguish yourself from somebody else, especially with great websites and social media. But nobody can take away our character, and that's what we try to be.
It's a blessing to have them with me and to do something that I really truly enjoy doing, and that I know they enjoy doing as well, because they wouldn't be doing this if they didn't truly enjoy it. I want to make sure that and I do thank Don for this opportunity, because I mean, and we've been friends for years and years and years, and he is one of the individuals that was very instrumental in the beginning as far as getting my name out to the public, along with several other sports writers. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Without that guidance, without that exposure, I wouldn't be where I am today. This isn't just about me. This is about a lot of people and my family making things work that make me look a lot better than what I truly am.
I'm Courtney Hammonds on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I've spent hundreds of hours practicing piano. That preparation paid off when I won a couple of talent awards and the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is a fuel for our future.
One of the reasons why Double D has been around for 50 years is because we are consistent with what built the business. And we go to great lengths to make sure that when you bring a deer or a hog or whatever it may be, your meat stays your meat all the way through the process. But we want to be as true to the original intent, which is a local meat company. And that's something that we want to maintain for as long as the Lord lets us do it.
Don't be that guy, unregistered, who catches a tagged bass and misses out on cash, a boat, or a truck. Don't be that guy. Sign up today at basscashbash.com.
Welcome back to Bayou Wild. We're here with our friend, of course, Chef John Folse at White Oak Estate and Gardens. It's been a rough winter. People have been dealing with cold, and what better way to warm up than a nice stew? What are we making today?
We're doing the famous Cioppino, that great dish of the Italians. You know, the Italians arrived here about 1865, right after the Civil War. Now, even the word, somebody was saying the other day, Cioppino is actually coming from the term to kind of, if you had a bad day of fishing, the Sicilians would go from boat to boat and chip in. Give me some to take. We have shrimp, we have scallops, and use the seafood of your area, pile on. So anyway, I have my cast iron pot here, and let's start off with a little bit oil. Olive oil will be fantastic in there. Yeah, just go ahead and pour it in there. Huh? The fatter the better, right? So I have my olive oil here. Why don't we just go ahead and start off with the garlic and the onions. And remember that the garlic really needs a little barrier because it'll scorch pretty quick, so the onions protect it when you put it in the pot like that. So there you go. Why don't you give me some of that, just a little touch of that red and green. I like the colors in the pot as well. Just a little bit of that would be great. That's fine. Now we're going to go.
Christmas in a bowl right there.
Just absolutely gorgeous. Now go ahead and give me the tomatoes.
Oh, we want this one too?
No, we're going to leave that one out. Just give me the tomatoes and dump them in. This is such a simple dish, and it's meant to be simple because it was cooked on a boat as well as on the seashore. So we're going to add that in as well.
And you kept the juices in this time?
Everything. I'm keeping it in. That's exactly right. Now, you can cook it out if you want to, but I'm going to just go ahead and add it in there because it is a stew, you know. Yeah. Now, let's look at our seafood. Fishing was good today.
Yes, it was a good bounty on this day here.
Fishing was good today. So anyway, so we'll let this cook a little bit. Give me some of that Worcestershire sauce right there. You can pour it in. A little bit of that white wine. Let that go as well. A little bit of that nice white wine in there. Just pour a little bit in here.
One for there, one for me.
There you go. That's perfect right there. Now that's your sauce, that's your gravy. We're just gonna let this sit here and simmer for a little while. We can season with a little bit of those red pepper flakes in here. You can throw them all in there. And of course, salt, pepper, all of those kind of wonderful things will be good. A little parsley you can throw in. Now I would let this just kind of sit here and simmer for a little while. Let me go ahead and have the oysters. We're saving the oysters to last. You can see how much liquid is in this pot already. We're going to add the oysters because we don't want to overcook it. The calamari next. Again, you don't want to overcook this. You just want to warm it up and let it just kind of cook in that juice for a second. It won't season itself, so we're going to add, remember, a lot of salt in the seafood.
Pepper, and garlic.
Little pepper and garlic in there like that.
And something you mentioned that's very important that I probably would have messed up had you not said it. There's a lot of liquid in the seafood, so you don't add the stock first like you would for different dishes.
That's exactly right. That's just in case you need it.
It's fun to have a presentation like this because you have the heads of the shrimp and you have the mussels.
Yeah.
This reminds me of a dish I ate many moons ago. I went to Greece with my mother, and I had a dish like this, and I always remember saying, "Oh, look at the little octopus. They're still whole."
Well, you know the thing about it, just like Greece, surrounded by water, fishing off of the land, the bounty of the sea, and what's different about that in Louisiana? Very little,
Very
right?
little.
It's all, so really a great dish, and all of the seafoods are available, even if they're out-of-state type seafood, they're available at some of your big box stores. So
don't be ashamed to buy seafood once in a while.
Absolutely buy it, especially if it says Louisiana.
There you go, Cioppino.
Cioppino.
Delta Marina is Plaquemines Parish fishing one-stop. Get live bait, fuel, ice, tackle, and marine supplies. Then launch into the world's most productive saltwater fishing. Return to the fishing cleaning station, relax in first-class cabins overlooking the bayou, all in Delta Marina's safety video-monitored parking lot. Need a fishing charter guide? Delta Marina can hook you up. Cook your catch in your kitchenette or dine in the upstairs restaurant. Visit Delta Marina for a day or a week. Stop in just off Highway 11 down Rosemary Drive in Empire. Visit thedeltamarina.com.
At Parish Coffee, we wanted to create a coffee brand that people would love to drink every day. Our medium roasts are nice, bright, nutty coffees. Our dark roast coffees are smooth and rich. I think it's important for consumers to recognize that sometimes it's your neighbor that you're supporting. People can go to parishcoffee.com to find the entire selection of coffees.
We love our children. We protect them. We guide them. We prepare them for life in the world. With all that we do, from deep in our hearts, we cannot control all things. Life-threatening illnesses and disabilities affect far too many of our children each year. While we cannot change the circumstance, we can make dreams come true. Dreams to provide hope, to provide spiritual healing and strength, to provide moments of happiness and relief in the hardest of times. We can give a glimmer of light and hope in a time of darkness and despair. Join huntofalifetime.org to help make dreams come true, to provide hope for children with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Hunt of a Lifetime is a non-profit organization fulfilling dreams for hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Visit huntofalifetime.org to learn how you can make a difference.
This trip to Venice reminds us that fishing doesn't always go our way. Even for the experienced, there are slow days, and there are days when Mother Nature wins. But the passion to get back on the water never fades.
Today was one of those pretty tough days, extremely low tides, high winds blowing, which makes it difficult to begin with. But the thing about Louisiana coast around Venice, you can always count on redfish. If there's any fish that's reliable, it's the redfish.
It's the ability to have that hard work, yet not let your clients even know that it exists. And that is besides patience, the biggest lessons I've learned from my dad, that if you could take that with you on your charters, you could quit charter fishing and take it with you wherever you're going.
We can't wait until our next trip down the river to Venice to spend a day on the water, maybe even catch a trophy fish. But most importantly, visit old friends and continue the family bonds of adventure, sportsmanship, and heritage of Bayou Wild.